I've really appreciated the opportunity I gained while grading some of your projects to see how well you did overall and to see the variety of approaches that you guys took. Thank you for all of your hard work on this project. I also appreciate those of you that have stopped by afterward to provide me with feedback on this project. I welcome any additional feedback that you may have as I hope to build out teaching resources that can benefit students for years to come. One piece of feedback that I felt deserved a follow-up video is a request to understand whether there is a more efficient method to identify the marginal tax rate and the high statutory tax rate. Since there are many ways that you can get to the same result in Excel, as well as other data analytics programs, I will show you how I achieve these results in a way that is more efficient than using a conditional statement. Let's start by identifying the marginal tax rate. I'm going to navigate to the tax rate schedule. As you can see in my tax rate schedule, I created a marginal tax rate on the next dollar of income column. In this column, I created a conditional formula that adds $1 to the value in the taxable income column only when the taxable income column is above 0. Otherwise, the marginal tax rate is going to list as 0. Since I set the marginal tax rate column to only populate with one non-zero tax rate at a time, I can take advantage of this by either summing the column or, as I did here on my input-output summary, using a max formula to identify the marginal tax rate. Let's go back to the tax rate schedule. The highest statutory tax rate is a bit more complicated because here in my spreadsheet, the statutory tax rate column is populated for all rows. So to identify the statutory tax rate that corresponds with the populated row, I'm going to use two formulas. First, just below the taxable income column, I'm going to enter another max formula to identify the max value populating the taxable income column. Note, we've also set the taxable income column up to only populate for one row at a time. Now that I've identified the maximum value in the taxable income column, I'm going to use a combination formula. The first part of my combination formula is going to rely on the sum product formula. You may not be familiar with this formula, so let's talk through what it does. Enter equals sum product, and when it appears, you can select that. And then highlight this column and this column, and then close your parens. What the sum product formula does is it goes row by row and multiplies the taxable income by the tax rate on the bracket. And then it goes to the next row and does the same thing. And once it's done multiplying the values from both columns in each row, it adds the results together. Effectively, what this result gives me is it gives me the bracket tax liability when I use the sum product formula by itself. However, this is not the result that I'm looking for. Instead, I want to identify the tax rate for the corresponding row. Here, I will take advantage of the knowledge that computers don't understand terms like true or false. Instead, true in a computer program is coded as 1, while false in a computer program would be coded as 0. I need to change the taxable income to a true condition, effectively making it a 1 in my sum product formula, so that the end result of the product will be 1 times the tax rate in the appropriate row. I'm going to accomplish this by modifying my sum product formula so that it's a combination formula where one piece will identify a true condition and the other piece will complete the multiplication and addition. I'm going to warn you before I show you the entire formula, there are a lot of parentheses here, so pay careful attention to the number of parentheses and their location so that you get this correct. We're going to enter equals sum product, and then we're going to put in max and enter 2 parens to start. Then identify the max value in the taxable income bracket. And we're going to get our true condition. Remember, that changes it in a computer program to a 1 by identifying the row in which that value equals the max value we identified in cell F16. Close your first paren, multiply, open up another bracket, and explicitly identify the values in the tax rate column. and then go ahead and close your paren. In essence, what I did is I created a short conditional statement that results in 1 whenever the taxable income in column F is equal to the max shown in F16. Recall, F16 is a max formula as well, so in our spreadsheet, these will equal only for the row that contains the taxable income. I needed to create this separate cell to avoid creating a circular reference error within Excel. With that computation entered, I can now go back to my input-output summary and simply reference that cell as the cell that identifies the highest statutory tax rate. We can use a variety of numbers to verify that our formulas for the highest statutory tax rate and the marginal tax rate are working and delivering the correct results. Using all of the bubble amounts. These are the amounts that after subtracting the standard deduction would result in the maximum of the bracket. So you can enter 23,225. But in this case, we're at the maximum of the 10% bracket. So if we were to add one more dollar, we would have a 12% marginal tax rate. Next, we can enter 54,725. Here, we're now at the maximum of the second tax bracket. So our statutory tax rate should be 12% and our marginal tax rate should be 22%. And we could continue along this line to check all of our values at the bubble to make sure that everything is working as it should. I hope you found these hints helpful, and I look forward to working with you as you complete your second data analytics project.